First and foremost, Phil, thank you. And to the Men's Recovery Group, thank you. What is this, the 16th year or something to that effect? I guess I've been up here the last 15 or 14 or something like that. But I've been coming up here a long time. I'm from Pittsburgh. And real quick, I went down to the Nile Club last week, and I was trying to get a meeting, and it was kind of late. When I got down there, it was a women's meeting. So I was outside the room, you know. I was outside where the cars were parked, sitting on the picnic table. And Phil was out there. I said, "What's up, Phil?" I had just seen Phil at our other convention that we gave for the Tri-Area. And he said, Marcus. I said, "What's up, Phil?" He said, "Well, you know you're coming to the car." I said, yeah. He said, "You could help me out then, because I need some help on this, and I guess God sent you." Because I don't go down to Nala Club. I go to different meetings on that particular day. And he said, "Yeah, I need you to speak at the Men's Recovery Group." But he said, "The reason why I want you to speak is because I know you grew up with Ronnie. Ronnie died this year. And he said, you know, I need you to take out the time because Ronnie would be here every men's convention. And Ronnie would help whoever needed help. Ronnie, I guess he had, 25, 26, 27 years. And I said it'd be an honor because I lived about a block away from Ronnie. We grew up together, but Ronnie may be a few years older than I. I'm 66 years old, and so here I am. You know, I just want to thank these men for... takes a whole lot to do this stuff, man. It's a commitment to do this. And it's a spiritual commitment, but you get more out of it than what you do. This is the gift. This is the gift that you see, that you're sitting in right now. This is the gift that we get when you're able to put things together and give back on this level. So anyway, I want to talk real quick, and I'm not going to take a lot of time. Been around, since '89. I just celebrated, 29 years in August. So I'm going on that point with 30 years at this point now, and coming around up the bend. But what I want to talk about is where I come from real quick. I came from I was in the Marines. I was a cop right down the road here in Braddock for about 6 years. I was Allegheny County Deputy Sheriff. I did all this stuff, right? I was the dope fiend that if I couldn't beat him, I would join him. And I still used. I was using all the time. I got a friend of mine to live up here, Chris. I don't even know if Chris is still alive. He was a deputy sheriff too. But we all worked the late shift, the 3 to 11 shift. And everybody got high. Everybody. Smoked weed, snort cocaine right down the street, this little bar. You go to most bars you went to around here, they let you drink for free. So finally I went downtown and I kept using, man. I couldn't stop using. I tried to stop. You know, in the summertime I would wear long sleeve shirts. I had started speedballing, shooting cocaine and heroin. And I didn't want nobody to see my arms. So real quick I had to, and I'm saying this for the people who don't know me, you know. It was a hell of a ride. I've been into about 32 treatment centers because I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to lose my job. Eventually, I lost my job. I lost everything. Lost my wife, and I've been married 4 times. Crazy, man. Crazy. It's been a hell of a ride. Hell of a ride. And see, I don't know how you came in here, but real quick, how I came in here. In the end, I went to a crack house. I had some white label scotch. I had some cocaine. I went to the house. They let me in. I gave the lady some powder. I went upstairs to the second floor where she had these rooms at, and I put a dresser by the door. The windows were shut down with nails. It was about 90-something degrees in this room. It was in August. I was by myself, man. I was weighing about 120 pounds, man. You know, when you're shooting heroin and any type of drug, and this is for the black man, our skin gets darker. That's how we could tell dope fiends out there. Their skin is totally dark. Just go look. You know, that's how my mother always knew I was using, man. And I put this dresser before the door, and then people downstairs were smoking crack. Didn't never mess with crack. And I remember about after the third or fourth day, I started feeling like I was going to have a heart attack. And my chest was beating real fast, and I ran down the steps, man. I had on these shorts, no shoes, no shirt, no nothing. And it's real funny. You ever, if you just think back, your last days out, where were you at on your last day out? I know on my last, wasn't nobody with me, man. I was by myself, right? And the funny thing about this, I was only a block away from where I grew up at. I had no concept of where I was at. I was a block away. So I went outside, man. I went outside and I knocked on the door next to the house next door, and nobody came to the door. And then I knocked on and went across the street, across Homewood and Monticello, and I knocked on the door. The lady opened the door, and I said, "Ma'am, would you please call the paramedics? I'm dying." My heart was beating and beating. And she started screaming and hollering, man. But when I went up on her porch, I didn't see the 25 motorcycles in front of the house. I didn't see none of that. Nothing. And when she was screaming and hollering, I said, "Ma'am, would you please?" And when I looked down, I still had the syringe hanging out my arm. Her sons in the motorcycle club was in the backyard having a meeting. And they came. See, I don't know how you came in here, but this is how I came in, and they began to beat me. They beat me off the porch, broke my teeth, cracked my ribs. You know, I had them big engineer boots on. And I'm in the middle of the street, and they're calling me junkie, you know, animalistic level in the end. The police came, paramedics came, that's when they had them old meat wagons. And they put the blackjack behind my neck. They didn't have Nora's on, whatever you call it. And the police started beating me. They was kicking me and beating me also because they knew who I was. I was one of them. And they said, "This motherfucker's a junkie." I was. And they threw me in the back of the wagon. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I didn't get out of there until about 2 or 3 in the morning. And every time, what they would do was they would go from one stop sign to another stop sign about 90 miles an hour. And I was handcuffed in the back. By then I had urinated on myself. I had defecated on myself. You know, I didn't have no shoes on, nothing. My ribs was cracked. And I would roll around in that steel van. 3 o'clock in the morning, they pulled up to St. Francis Hospital, and when the doctors came out, they had on their gloves and their face masks, and they pulled a gurney out. And I heard one of the cops say, "Yeah, he has the virus." I didn't have no virus. But that's how they treated me. And they threw me back in a dark room. They cut my clothes off me, threw me back in a room, and I'm laying in my own shit. And nobody came back there for about an hour and a half to see me. See, I don't know how you came in. People, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about how I came in. The next voice I heard was my mother's voice screaming down the hall. Thank God there was one doctor said, "He's here, but you don't want to see him. You don't want to see him." And I heard her and my sister walking back up the hall. They didn't see me. And I ended up in Western Psych, where they had the padded rooms. And from there, they put me in a cab. I had a sheet around me, and they sent me home. I was living in Penn Hills with my wife and my 3 kids. I knew she had a protection from abuse order on me. I wasn't a physical guy to beat her up or nothing like that, but I ran in and out of the house. I took the picnic tickets. I took the Christmas clothes. I took the Christmas toys back to the store. They were tired. And my wife didn't want me on the porch because in front of the house, the kids caught the bus. My kids' friends. And I had this sheet wrapped around me with blood seeping through it, no shoes on, you know. Somehow my 2 sons got me in the house. My wife said, "When I come home from work, if you're here, you're going to jail." I woke up about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, threw on some pants, and went back down the set and started trying to cop again. This time I ended up in jail with 4 other guys. And I probably stayed in the county jail for about 10 months. Remember, I used to lock them up. Only way I could stop is lock them up. So I'm done with that. I don't want to take up a lot of time, but that's how I came in here. So when we talk about our guiding principles, man, see what I want to talk about. I came in here. Look, I need help. Even up to now, like I got a brand new sponsor. Been with him for about a year and a half. He has less time than what I have. I've been coming around when I got 29 years. 20 years of that, I wasn't working on nothing. I was coming to meetings, doing things. It's good to be working on your steps and reading your book and all, but I wasn't working. I wasn't even dealing with no principles and nothing. But I knew the guys that hang around. I met Bill in Recovery in the Woods. We used to go there every year. We went all over. But that didn't mean nothing, because at the end of the day, only by God's grace and mercy I didn't pick up a drug. For real. That's only by God's grace and mercy. There was a time just recently, I guess a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, messed up my ankle in the Marine Corps. I got a stress fracture. When I went to the VA, they gave me these 90 Percodan, or what do you call them? That they were opioid tablets, about 90 of them. And my money was funny and shit, so I called my cousin. He said, yeah, man, I can get $450 for those. Something started messing with me. Money was tight.